This is a podcast from soof.co.uk. Hello, I'm Patrick Downs. This is all about film, whether it be Blu-ray, DVD or streaming. This in Italy, a London artist and his estranged son try to mend their relationship as they work together to repair a dilapidated house in Italy.
Did you like the film?
I couldn't understand any of it. Half of me is from here.
I heard about your mother, Jack. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I must have been able to speak some Italian once. Can't remember anything.
Vista? Spettacolare. You repeat.
Vista?
Spettacolare.
Spettacolare.
Molto bene.
Vista spettacolare.
Amazing view.
Starring Liam Neeson, Michael Richardson and directed by James Darcy. Our film correspondent Hayley Donny asked Liam Neeson about how it felt to be approached for a film that had similarities to his own life.
It hasn't happened very often, but it was kind of like a mild punch to the stomach is the best way to describe it when I first read it, especially because it was kind of billed as a light comedy. I had a little bit of trouble with that because the other aspects of the script was the punch. But I guess the actor in me was thinking, actually, this could be very interesting to do, and it would be very interesting to do with my son, Michael. So that was my immediate reaction to it. I thought it was a lovely script. And I knew James as an actor. I'd never met him before. I knew this was his first outing as a director. But that didn't worry me at all.
Yeah, it is absolutely beautiful script. And Michael, I'd love to know what it's like working with your dad, and does he give you notes, and also kind of what you've learned from his amazing film experience.
I was kind of nervous, especially the first day starting to film with him. Our characters don't really like each other as much as we do in real life. So sort of playing that was really interesting at first and a little harder than I'd anticipated. But when there's the first scene we shot was when Jack first sees Robert, and Robert comes out in this robe. And that moment was just, it was so funny. It kind of like set the tone for the rest of it. I've learned so much from Dad, just especially filming Made in Italy. And I'd say it's his comfort on set and his stillness and patience. Like in between shots, I kind of have this like bouncing around nervous energy where I'm trying to pass time, and Dad would just kind of go in this meditative state and read, and he had the patience on lock.
I love that. That sounds very calming to have around. I love the humor as well. Some of my favorite moments about the dating app and the social media. How much truth is in that, Liam? Is that how you feel about social media and apps?
There was no acting in that scene for me because even the word app just gets me nervous because it's like talking in ancient Arabic. Social media sites, I'm not on any of them at all. Facebook, none of that stuff. So I'm still terrified of it. In fact, even now, I know I'm looking into your eyes, but I'm not. I'm actually looking at a little green dot at the top of my computer screen. So it's all very, very strange.
When I first saw this house, you can't imagine how stunning it was. I've been thinking, it deserves to have its history honored.
Well, whatever we do, I need to do it quick.
Right.
Start tomorrow then. Properly.
James Darcy directs and writes, and Hayley Donny asks the question of what inspired him to write the script.
When I first wrote it, I wrote it to be in it, not to direct it. And I wanted to write a part that I thought, I'd like to play. And I thought if I wrote a good part for an older guy, then maybe we get the money to make the film. And that sort of led me to the father-son thing. But actually, I think very subconsciously, my own father died when I was really young, when I was 6. And although this wasn't a conscious thing, I wasn't trying to do that, but I do think subconsciously I might have written some kind of fantasy, relationship or conversation that we might have had, or, I think when I first started writing it, I was reading a lot of scripts that were very bleak. And I just wanted to try and write something that was a bit hopeful. And I thought if I could try and write something that's gently comedic, then it could lead the audience into a slightly more difficult conversation. You know, I know that in my own personal life, if somebody makes me laugh, then I'm much more engaged if they then have a sort of more meaningful, you know, conversation with me. So that, I guess, was the hope of the script. Plus Tuscany, plus lovely food. You know?
Tick, 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 yeah. And I'm really intrigued about approaching Liam Neeson. I know that you said that you didn't know him personally, and I'm wondering sort of how that feels to approach somebody like Liam Neeson, also given the kind of similarities that you know between his personal life.
Well, honestly, when we sent him the script, I was a little bit apprehensive because I don't know him at all, and I thought there was a good possibility we could get a response from his agent along the lines of, what the hell do you think you're doing? How could you possibly insult somebody more? And maybe we were helped by the fact that I didn't know him. I wasn't so worried that he might respond that way, but actually it was completely the opposite anyway, is that he emailed me directly and said, I read your script and I really love it, and let's meet and have a conversation about it, which, you know, obviously for any first-time filmmaker to have someone like Liam send you an email directly is pretty amazing. But to, you know, when I met him and he sort of said, look, obviously this has great resonance in my life and I'm scared of this material, and that's what makes me think I should do it. Which I know as an actor is a really exciting, terrifying place to be when you feel like, oh no, I have to go somewhere that I'm not very comfortable going to. So, you know, it was great. And it was Liam's suggestion that I meet Michael, and he felt that it could bring something extra to, you know, something that you couldn't put into words to the script. And I couldn't have been happier actually when I did meet Michael. Not only is he super handsome, but they did have something, you know, they did have something together that I think I would have struggled to find if it had been, you know, just two actors who didn't know each other very well. In fact, Michael directed Liam from time to time, and I don't know that Liam has had another actor on a set direct him for quite a few years.
I was going to ask the opposite question. I was assuming that Liam might be giving notes to Michael.
No, Liam was really, really boundaried about it. You know, he said to Michael, James is the director, I'm your co-star, and that's how it'll be. James will tell you how he wants it, and you go with that, which was, you know, wonderful, lovely thing for him to do on my behalf. But of course, Michael's young, and he's a young puppy. So he was like, Dad, why don't you do it like that?
Oh, that's amazing. I was going to ask, what kind of similarities do you think they have as a father-son?
Well, they're both pretty laid-back people in real life, and they're both very approachable, very open. As soon as you're in their presence, you feel kind of warm and safe. I guess that's the best connection. Also, although I'm not sure that I saw it so much when we were shooting, but when I first auditioned Michael, I had turned the lights down really low in my flat to try and do, I can't remember, but I guess it was probably one of the scenes in the barn. And I was filming it, and when I watched it back, he looked exactly like Liam in The Bounty. And I was like, oh my God, wow, this is incredible. They even look exactly the same. But then when we came to do it, actually, I think he looks a bit more Redgrave than Neeson. But it's definitely there, you know.
Made in Italy is out now, Certificate 15. And with that, thanks for checking me out on the Bring the Film podcast today. I'm Patrick Downs, and you can keep in touch across Twitter at I'm Patrick Downs, also on Instagram, or facebook.com/officialpoptart. And there's also the website, soof.co.uk. This is a podcast from soof.co.uk.